Hi everyone. I hope you guys are doing really well. As always, sending you big hugs, sending out lots of love as we get through these trying times while we're making history, or herstory, I suppose. But anyway, this is Dump's reading for the week from April 22nd to the 28th. As always, I kind of just let my guides take me out further if need be, time-wise. Don't want to have too much of a forcing current or limit at all with them, right? So, anywho, let me just bring you over my table. We'll see how Twat Waffle's going to do this next week or so. Okay, hold on. Be right back. Okay, so I decided to do 2 mini grand tableaux. So I'll do 15 cards with this one, the Celtic Lenormand, and 15 cards with the maybe Lenormand next to each other. And over here on the left side, I'm asking, what will he do this week? Over here on the right side, I'm asking, what will happen to him this week? Okay. Now, this Celtic Lenormand has extra people cards and duplicates of some of the cards, but it brings different meanings with the artwork, so I just left them all in. But if you have this deck, you most likely would just choose based on the person you're reading on. But I don't know. I like leaving it all in for this purpose. So anyway, let me put the question into the cards. What will he do this week for April 22nd to the 28th? What will Sleezus be doing? Now, of course, we have the... he has a hearing coming up on the 23rd, which is to determine whether or not he violated his gag order. Okay, I heard stop right there for that one. Let me get this one shuffled. Okay. And then on the 25th, which I thought was the 22nd, but I don't know if it got moved or I just got the wrong date, but on the 25th, Scrotus will have their oral arguments to determine if Sleezus has immunity. And of course, they're even just literally taking on the case, which is ridiculous. They should have let it stand with the D.C. Circuit Court. But they took it on, and so this has held things up, and it's held up Jack Smith's obstruction, January 6th obstruction case. Oh, I'll be glad when Mercury retrograde is over. Mercury and lemonade is what I'm calling it, like Dulce Sloan, the comedian, calls it. Okay. What will happen to him this week? April 22nd to the 28th. Right there. Okay, bear with me. Ooh, a woman. So this would, I would think, have to be Melania for him. Let me go out this way. That's quite the core there. Okay, let me bring these over just in case. I think I have plenty of room, though. I might even be able to bring it down a little bit. I get these straight enough. There we go. Oh, yeah. Boy, these are certainly making sense. Wow. So remember, this side is what he's going to be doing. Okay, and this side is how it'll go for him. What's going to happen to him? Ooh, we have the cross in both readings. How am I doing for... Oh, good enough. Then let's do this. And... okay, And then from here, I'll bring the camera down so you can see the artwork, the images, because they're symbolic, and I believe they speak to everyone. I believe we all read symbols. So feel free to drop in your comments, whatever you get. Okay, let me bring this down. Right there. Okay, so over here first, of course, so we have Melania right at the heart of the matter. She is willing to take some risks. She's with the clover, from Melania to knighting up here to the clover. She doesn't mind taking some risks. I think she's had it with him. She's tired of the negativity hanging over her. She's tired of the obfuscation, just him trying to hide everything, and her life being so uncertain with him. It's like, that's what you get. I mean, myself, I think she's just a hoe bag, but after what she did with so many opportunities to not do something like she did, remember her jacket. I don't really care, do you? That she willfully, even after being asked questions several times, do you really want to wear that? Is that a good idea? You think that's a good idea? Even Trump told her it wasn't a good idea. She wore it to the detention camps where the migrants were, where they're separated from their children. Children were taken away from them and they're held in cages. Taken away from their parents and held in cages. She didn't really care. So this behavior is hanging over her on one level, but in relationship with what is he going to do this week, this has to be Melania, because that's the way it works. Now, if there was another woman card that came through, I would have to pick which one is Melania and who's the other woman, but it did not. So this is Melania, where he is trying to get her to risk sticking around with him. And he's going to be lying to her. He's going to be cheating on her in any way he wants. I don't know what he's really able to do at his age, but, cheating happens in more than sexual ways. Ugh, I haven't even thought of that with him. But, okay, so he is thinking about her all week, and he's going to do what he can do to give her opportunities to not leave him, to not, get away with something that he doesn't want her to take, which is mostly herself. And she's, I think she's just not having it. Now, this would be barren on one level. On another level, this would be something new. Like he's going to try to offer her something new to help try to recover their relationship, but it's nothing but lies, and it's nothing but just trying to hide something, pull the wool over her eyes. And it's probably an offer, of course, that has something to do with barren. And then this is interesting. So we have the cat and the dog. Okay. Different meanings, but the same. Notice they're both 18, which is the thing to do. Like if you're reading for somebody that doesn't have a dog, but they have a cat, then you would take the dog out and this would be it. But there are two different meanings between a cat and a dog. This deck over here has both. The dog did come through. Okay, so dogs are protective. They're loyal. They're helpers. It's my card for like nurses, doctors, things like that, anyone who helps. Cats are independent. So this is Melania trying to be independent from him and his negativity, and he's taking what he's going to be doing this week is he just really is thinking about her and seeing what he can offer her to get her to stick around. But he's only thinking of himself. And notice we have both children cards here. So I can say easily that this is about Melania, because there's two different meanings with when you have the child card. It can be a literal child, which, Baron turned 18, but still, he's their child. So I do believe this is him. And then, and especially because I think this is a little boy, and this one's a little girl. But this one I think is this with the second meaning in the Lenormand with the child card. We have the meaning of something new or something small, new start, something new. Which don't you love that we get that reminder with the eggs in this deck, right? Something new, something small. Melania is looking. I read directionally. She's looking at some new start that's helpful and protective of her. That does not include him. So what's he going to be doing about this? I don't think he can do anything about it, except he's going to try to distract her by throwing some more money at her. But I don't think she's buying it, because I think she can smell the cat box, has been smelling the cat box, and he's in this dangerous position. But what's he going to do about it? He's going to decide to lie, to obfuscate. He's going to decide to probably lie to his own son about something. He's also going to be guilty and burden himself, and he's also going to create even more pain with all of his lies and his cheating and his stealing and his grifting. And he's going to be telling Melania, I'm doing this for you and Baron so that you have all the money that you want. And all of these dangerous transactions that he's doing with dictators, I think, in other countries, and all of his money laundering habits and all of that. I mean, that's all right here. So Melania knows all this. She's not clean in any of this. And she knows something's wrong. I mean, the two fraudsters, the two scam artists, con artist cards in the Lenormand are both here, the mice and the fox. So she knows that it's just a painful, vicious circle to stay with him. But what is he going to do? He's going to try to throw money at her, threaten her with, you can't really do anything without me, and, just things like that. Just the same things any malignant narcissist or psychopath would do with in relationship, with regards to relationships. So we have the card of self-sabotage here. He's going to be sabotaging his any of his opportunities for independence, and he's going to create some change. He's going to be traveling as well, but making independent change is blocked. Even though I don't have the mountain card here, but I feel like this is a big block, a big block, as in his cross to carry, his burden, because he's guilty. He doesn't have faith in anything other than money, and that's, at some point, those kudos are going to run out. So, there's communication. He's going to be talking to Melania a lot, but he's going to be lying to her. And it's all about money, power, and protection within, his money laundering crime syndicate. That's what he's going to be doing. He's going to be grifting. He's going to take in whatever money comes in from the RNC that they will give him. And he's using it to try and bribe her some more or pay her off. That cash is going there first. That's the short story with this one. Okay, now over here, what will he do this week? Or I'm sorry, what will happen to him this week? This is what will he do. What will happen to him is there will be a surprising network of wise people who realize that throwing money at him, it just gets stuck in him. It doesn't go anywhere. he will also probably have an invitation to, and this he'll do at Mar-a-Lago probably, but he'll do in other places. He's going to rally as much as he can. But the trial, the trial's going to start. They're already done with. I'm doing this reading on Friday before the Monday of the week this reading is for, and they just all they need is just to get a few more or several more of the extra backup jurors. So unless something happens, now this could also be his threats to any of those jurors, but I didn't have the little tower card come through in this reading, which would indicate legal issues, but it is here. It's right here. So again, what happens to him this week, his karma, it's so much about money. There's only 3 money cards in this deck, and there's 52 cards in this deck, and all 3 of the money cards are right here. But notice that there's something shocking coming through, and there's a painful loss legally. So I think what these cards are speaking to is the separate hearing on the 23rd to determine whether or not he violated the gag order. I don't think it's going to go well for him, but it'll be like I know he's had other offenses, but he hasn't been fined yet, I don't think. You guys correct me if I'm wrong there. I think there are going to be fines this week because here we are with the guilty card. He's going to be legally proven guilty, and there'll be a painful loss that sinks him in a way that he can't get out of it. Partnerships or previous partnerships will be painful this week. People will come together in order to stop him from creating more shock and losing more jurors. And they're doing everything Judge Juan Merchan is finding out. Merchan, however, it depends if you want to pronounce it in his Colombian, accent or not. But he's having, and this would be the judge in this deck, he's having to be very wise about coming down on Trump. He needs to come down on him. He needs to get even stronger. He's strong, but he needs to be stronger. But so what's going to happen to Trump is there will be protections put in place that can be surprising for him. And I believe he will be fined. I believe over this next week he's going to be fined. I don't know that he'll be locked up. That could definitely come, down the line. Because we do have to remember, in this case, and I've already read on this case, so and I posted that video in the community section this morning, so that's there if you want to watch that video. That's a way to find it easily. All of his videos are in all the readings I've done on him are in his playlist. But it doesn't populate. I don't know if you can sort from your end or not, but I don't think it populates in the order that I've done them. I don't know. From my end, I can't see the same thing. Well, I'd have to sign out and go into create a fake account and then go in from that end. I don't have anyone else here with me to use their account. But anyway, it was a big squirrel moment. The important thing to remember here is that with the Alvin Bragg case, with the Stormy Daniels hush money case, it's not a civil case. It is a criminal case because we're talking election subversion, basically election fraud. And those are federal offenses. So he can be sentenced he has 34 counts against him, and each one of those is a felony, of course. And he could have 1 year for each felony. But they do have a cap. New York has a cap for 20 years. But all that's within the judge's discretion. Now, I think over time, I'll keep, of course, reading on it, but I do believe over time he is going to be more and more angry with Trump and come down harder and harder on him. I think he's intuitively, I feel like he's been given a little bit of, Trump has been given a little bit of leeway to see what he'll do. If given enough rope, will he hang himself? And he's already been lurching and lurking and, giving the evil eye to jurors and then goes outside and talks shit about them, gets out of the court and goes and talks shit about everybody. So we know he's not going to be able to keep his mouth shut. It doesn't take a psychic or a reader to tell you that. He might do it if there's back in the day, if there was a big fine involved, like a large fine, he could keep quiet. But he didn't do it with E. Jean Carroll's case, and that cost him. I mean, what an idiot. You can't keep your mouth shut. You go out and you defame her again, and now you owe her $91 million. What an idiot, right? I mean, just think about it. Just because you can't keep your mouth shut. That is indicated up here. What will happen to him is his pig-headed narcissism will end him. And so this week we can expect to see that he's going to act like a drunk person. He's also going to be seen as this person who just parties and doesn't care. Now, this could be our GOP party, right? And maybe with some of them in their wisdom, now, of course, not all of them, but some of them in their wisdom, they're going to say, I'm done with this guy. I mean, look at this angle, this line right here. And so there's this spreading of information about his narcissism, that's just his overblown ego that is, it's taken him down. If we just look at these two lines here coming off of or coming down to the cross, again, his need to bear this burden that is painful. And even though he's had all the help, all the support, and all the protections in the past, there might be some new ones that come in to protect him and give him more money. But you can bet they are money laundering. It's part of this, transnational money laundering crime syndicate. I mean, to have the money, but the money goes out. It doesn't really go back in. It goes out to him, and then I think he holds on to just whatever he wants. And of course, what he wants is to try to throw some money at Melania to keep her around. Interesting. And for money she'll do anything, because that's how she is. It's just, you would think, but she must keep really strong boundaries away from him, though, except for financially. Otherwise, she would be getting very, very ill, physically, ill. She'd be having major health problems, and that may happen the older she gets. She hasn't hit her second Saturn return yet, so we'll see how that goes for her. But anyway, so what's going to happen to him this week is the sun will be shining a spotlight. There will be constant news out on the internet that is very shocking, revealing how he gets his money, how he spends his money, and who's loyal to him, not anymore. But just bottom line, all about the money, where it comes in, what he's done. This would be all the hush money payments, things like that. The David Pecker's testimony, all these people who've been subpoenaed, and they have to come in and get on the stand. So, but even though I don't have the letter card in either one of these spreads, It's important to remember that with this trial, everything is documented. That's why he has 34 counts. Each document is one count. So this is number 34. Even though I don't have the document card, we've got the burden here. Again, just major shocks. Something shocking is going to come through this next week. Now I don't have the scythe over here, so I'm not getting that he won't be cut off from his money. He's trying to cut off Melania or bribe her. He's making a dangerous proposition with her. It does look to me like it will work, But this is where his money's going. So anyway, with this spread here, to open up the reading, we can see with the star, this has to do with his network. We will see who's in his money circle. We learned about, what was that guy named Hanky? We learned about the repo man and where he gets his money. A lot of dark stuff came out about that guy. If you watched Rachel Maddow's show on him I think it was last week. It feels like a month ago because so much has happened. But anyway, that is what this reading is all about. But mostly what's going to happen to him is that we will all know more about how he gets his money. And there might be something that comes through about money laundering. Right? The money goes out, comes in, laundered, and then goes back out. Comes in, laundered, then goes out from there. The four corners reveal that the money laundering network of old white men, mostly, there's that goal that will be seen, and that partnership, and that guilt. So I hope that comes out this week. It's the only thing that I'm not hearing them talk about on the news yet. But just think back how far we've come, even while he was running and then while he was in the Oval Office. Nobody, only, well, I shouldn't say only, but I remember in the beginning, of course, in the debates, remember when he was lurking behind Hillary Clinton, and then so that was like, oh yeah, that's a psychopath, man. You got a psychopath right behind you. Turn around and hiss at him. Of course she didn't. She just kept talking. But then when they were up debating behind each podium, she said, "You're Putin's puppet." I'm not Putin's puppet. You're Putin's puppet. That's what he said. So she called it out a long time ago. He's only a puppet for money, and maybe because he's been, caught for so long. Oh, and then the book, hold on, do I have it? Yeah, I do. I have it here. Hold on. If anybody hasn't read this book, House of Trump, House of Putin by Craig Unger, I highly recommend it. The Untold Story of Donald Trump and the Russian Mafia. It's full of photographs, color photographs that, I don't want to violate any copyright issues, so I won't go any further, but I am seeing these cards and thinking maybe something comes out on the news because the sun is shining a spotlight out everywhere, and there might be some major proof online as to where he actually gets his money, because we have all the money laundering cards here, right? And maybe that will sink him. If it's not that, I can comfortably say he will be legally sunk and lose a lot of money, create a very painful loss. The protection he thinks he has will just shockingly dissolve in like the light of the sun, just melting something, like melting his witch hunt, because the burden of proof as to the money is what's going to get him. The checks he wrote. the documents that are there will legally sink him. So, yeah. I think that's it. I think I'll go ahead and just get this uploaded. If you have more questions, drop them in the comments, and I'll do my best to read on them tomorrow with Lisa. With Lisa, Spirit Intuitive Tarot. Join us at 12 Pacific, 3 Eastern, and adjust your time zone accordingly in between. So, okay. Thanks, you guys. Bye.